All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another edition of the RnRGzrs show. I'm your host Murph, and you see the beautiful sunshine behind me. We're having great weather here in the Midwest this week. It's very cool, very cool. And I tell you what, man, maybe having great weather this week, but I'm telling you what, if you look what's happening, we got storm clouds a brewing, and there's only one person that can help me get through all this nonsense. And he is not man, he is Devo, and that would be my partner in crime, Doc Rocks. Doc Vox, how you doing, Doc?
Doc Quite splendidly, man. This week is some stuff going on.
My head is spinning, brother.
Oh my gosh,
man. My head is spinning. You can see the storm clouds behind me. Yeah,
we will ride in the storm out. Greetings and salutation, rock and roll fans. Thanks for joining us again. If you are a subscriber, we love you to death, and if you haven't, please do so, and we will love you too. So, it's just we're trying to be real hard to be your favorite rock and roll news show. So we'll try to bring it to you every week, and this week's a doozy, man.
Oh boy, where do we start? Well, first let me put up the tornado there. That's easier on the eyes. The tornado. That's pretty much fits the situation anyway. As everybody knows, gee, many creepers. We've been talking about Motley Crue's metamorphosis through the last year and a half or so. Last year we saw John 5 playing with Rob Zombie, great concert and whatnot. And shortly after that, he joined up with Motley Crue, and Mick Mars resigned. But okay, this is where it gets really funky immediately, because Mick Mars resigned, but he wanted to still be a studio in the studio with them. He still and maybe an occasional appearance.
Retired from the road is how they put it at the time.
Yes,
kind of retired from the road. Yeah.
Boy, were we wrong. Holy cow. Here we go. Let me see. Ooh, we were so wrong. No. Things obviously weren't as amicable as they seemed, even though we did see minor ripples in the ocean back then, starting with one of their old singers, right?
Yeah, folks remember we were reporting on this at the time, that Mick was stepping down, and there was all the speculation who was going to fill in. Ultimately, it was John 5, and at the time, John Corabi, who had stepped in when Vince was on the outs for that one album, people may remember, he kind of said that he's not buying it, and he doesn't think that Mick was really, wanting to just step aside. So, I believe it's worth something along the lines of, until he heard it directly from him, take it with a grain of salt kind of thing. And boy, was he right, man. And then more recently, we heard from drummer Carmen Appice.
That's right.
Kind of words to kind of the same effect. So there's definitely some doubt. The seeds of doubt were out there. And now Mick has filed suit, man. Mick Mars has filed suit against his old band.
Well,
so
let's get back to Carmen. It says here on the article, after Mars stopped touring with Motley Crue in 2022, Appice claimed that it was due to the band's use of backing tracks, which Mick Mars opposed. Let me see. Mick Mars opposed. With this, a controversy surrounding the band arose, and this year, months after the guitarist's departure, followed by speculations, a new development occurred and increased the tensions. Mars filed a lawsuit. That's the newest thing. We've been talking about this. Remember last year, we talked about a live video showing Tommy not even on his drums when they started playing, and also last year, if you remember, I pointed out how I could hear a rhythm guitarist while they were, Mick was doing leads and Nikki Sixx on bass. Okay, where's the guitarist?
Well, you thought there was either a guy behind the curtain
or a tape.
On tape, yeah.
And it obviously it turned out to be tape. I mean, there are people talking that Vince Neil was lip syncing, and gosh, I hate giving Vince Neil so much shit. I really, I do. The guy's suffered the worst pain a man can suffer. But geez, come on, Vince, retire, But geez, he has suffered more than most ever will. So I got to give him that. But at the same time, because of his daughter passing.
Oh, yeah,
his
yeah,
young
absolutely.
daughter. So,
Yeah, if you folks didn't know,
Jiminy
daughter
creeper.
Skylar
Yeah,
died at a
jeez.
very young age. Of terminal
Yeah.
illness.
So yeah, give him that. Okay. I'm gonna leave him out of this because it seems like Nikki Sixx is really, really being the one who's stirring up the pot with all this stuff. I remember a few shows ago where he shot back at Carmen Apsey, called him basically a washed up has been and stuff like
Right.
that, and then Carmen shot back at him. Well, come in, let's have a jam off and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
they've been going back and forth, and now Mick Mars has filed a lawsuit. I mean, it's pretty incredible. We thought everything was amicable, everything was just great. Oh gosh, they're
Well, apparently what he's suing over is access to the financial files. This is kind of the same thing that was in the Journey camp that we were talking about. They kind of want access to the financials, see what's going on. So Mick took the cut from 25%. I guess they all got even 25% to 5%. He's down to 5% is what he gets. Which,
or what he would
if he agreed
get
to it for staying home, I mean, that's not so bad.
and and then they offered him 7.5%, but then no future profits. 7.5% of this tour, but after that he's totally wiped out. Holy cow! Thanks for 41.
No. Yeah,
I read that. Yeah.
I'm sure, but that's a shitty deal. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but let me see. And then Mick's lawyer,
5% in perpetuity. That's yeah.
Considering the brand he built in 41 years on the guitar, geez. But his lawyer says, Mick's lawyer says, Sixx further gaslighted Mars. Oh, that's a word we're hearing a lot of.
Yeah.
Gaslighted Mars by severely criticizing his performances on the U.S. tour and exclaimed that there was no way that the band could tour with Mars anymore. Ouch. And then Mars comes back and claims that Sixx would, quote, make band decisions without telling the other musicians and would ask his bandmates to sign documents immediately on Friday at 5 p.m. Holy cow, that does sound like Journey, doesn't it? Oh, man,
Right.
it's, all sorts of
it's
underhanded
Nicky's
shenanigans.
Band. It was always Nicky's band. I mean, I'm sure he has the deciding vote on things, but it sounds like everything was 25%, across the board. Other than that, I don't know.
Wow. And then, Mars was really pissed about the click track. And in the suit and the lawsuit that he filed, he says, during much of the band's recent tenure, Sixx continually gaslighted Mars by telling him that Mars had some sort of cognitive dysfunction and that his guitar playing was subpar, claiming that Mars forgot chords and sometimes started playing the wrong songs. Ooh, boy. Wow. But
and there's an engineer that kind of confirms this too. He's kind of said the same thing. But then Mick has said that on the last tour, he's the only one that was 100% live. Which I don't know. That's a hard pill to swallow. He's the only one that was 100% live. I mean, I believe the rest of them were probably pre-recorded, but I can't believe he was 100% live.
Boy, oh boy!
When you've even called it out, with the rhythm.
Well, and the thing is, coming back to this, he says, although Mars had indicated that the 12 U.S. stadium dates would be his last shows while touring, the 12 shows ultimately expanded to 36. And Mars performed at every single one of them in constant pain. Sixx's gaslighting came to a crescendo during the stadium tour when he, knowing that this was Mars' last tour as a result of his increasingly painful and debilitating disease, and apparently already plotting to force him out of the band and take his shares, repeatedly told Mars that he was playing the wrong chords and that fans were complaining about his playing. Wow. Holy cow. And boy,
of course, basically say bullshit. Yeah.
Here we go. Astonishingly, Sixx made these claims about Mars playing while Nikki Sixx, did not play a single note on bass during the entire U.S. tour. The lawsuit continues. Ironically, 100% of Sixx's bass parts were nothing but recordings. Six was seen.
If that's true, that's really disappointing.
Especially a bass player. Six was seen fist pumping in the air with his strumming hand while the bass part was playing. In fact, a significant portion of Vince Neil's vocals were also pre-recorded. Even some of Tommy Lee's drum parts were recordings.
Yeah.
Some fans actually noticed that Lee was walking towards his drum set as they heard the drum part begin. That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mars, at times on this tour, did play the wrong chords, but did not due to any cognitive dysfunction. The lawsuit continues. He was playing live, and his in-ear monitors were constantly malfunctioning, causing Mars to be unable to hear his own instrument. That would be tough, believe me. The fact is that Mars is rarely mocked or criticized online. He's a quieter member of the group. Totally true there. You never hear him say a damn thing. Quieter member of the group who shows up to play, puts his heart and soul in each performance. Conversely, other band members are often criticized online, particularly Neil, who is routinely torn to shreds for, amongst other things, not remembering the songs. Oh, this is so great.
Well, if they're going to have things pre-recorded, you think he would be the one. He would be the first one that they would have pre-recorded. But if he's making those mistakes, apparently he's not.
Well, in terms of Vince?
Yeah.
Geez. When I saw him, of course, he had the backup singers for all the high stuff. So, he could basically almost fake it then because they hit all the high stuff and sounded great. But if he's lip syncing, geez, he sounds pretty bad. It's like, okay, we're going to do a track for the actual concert, Vince. Now sing just a little bit flat like you would live. And then you can lip sync to that,
Yeah. If it sounded too good, then people would know he was lip syncing.
Oh man.
Yeah, make it sound realistic and
Well, okay, moving on here. According to Variety, Mars's attorney says that he was warned by the band's lawyers that if your client rejects the severance package that was graciously offered to him by the band, he will get next to nothing. I suggest you think about the repercussions of this decision. There is undisputed legal cause here for Mick's removal. Mick is unable to perform as a full-fledged band member. Among other things, as demonstrated during the last tour, he repeatedly forgot the chords, does not play the right song, plays chords of a different song while on stage, and so on. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Can you imagine if this goes to court and they have to prove that, and they're going to have video of performances where either he's doing it or not, making mistakes or not.
While we're out in situation with his disease with ankylosing spondylitis, which he had it first at 27. So what a shame.
Long time.
The disease caused Mars's lower spine to seize up and freeze completely solid, causing scoliosis in his back and also compressing his spine downward. God, that's gonna my back is so heavy, that. But so that he is now at least 3 inches shorter than he was in high school. Wow. His spine is now completely seized from pelvic to skull, a condition known as bamboo spine. He cannot move his head in any direction. Holy cow, you shouldn't be playing.
He shouldn't be. And that was what we talked about at the time.
I wonder what he's worth. I hope he's able to live comfortably for the rest of his life. He better have saved his nickel and dimes. Jeez. They clearly
he's definitely a warrior, man. I mean, guy's been hurting like this for a long, long time. And
wow. And Mick's filing claims that Motley Crue filed an arbitration case against him in February, essentially suing him to prove that it had the right to fire him from the band. They clearly commenced an arbitration rather than a public lawsuit so that the public would not be aware of the deplorable manner in which they treated their, quote, brother of 41 years, unquote, lawyer from Mars wrote in the petition. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, here we go, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cutthroat, man.
We got more Journey stuff, type of stuff here. Man, oh man, oh man. When you play in a stadium like that, you'd hear a lot of other things come to the monitors or what doesn't. And with Vince Neil's vocals, bass, drums, guitars, and all the other stuff, it was obvious that it was all on tape. And Mick was pissed off and said, I can't play these things. I want to play them. I don't want to make believe I'm playing them. So I think that was one of the reasons why he said, I'm done. Sure, disease that he has doesn't help, and it doesn't make life easy on tour, but Mick could play all the licks, and he was allowed to. So, wow, this is nasty. I'm sure John Five's really digging this. Jeez. He's got to be, oh, Christ, what the hell did I want? I thought you guys were all at peace and shit, and I walk into this, and
good point, man.
And now it's all this, jeez. But, when Daly asked a piece to clarify that Mick wasn't getting along with the rest of Motley Crue, Carmine said, no, he wasn't. He had his own means of travel and would travel alone on a bus while the other guys flew everywhere. He said, man, these guys are pissing their money away, flying to every gig. They were all busy still trying to be rock stars, and Mick just wanted to play the music. Mick wasn't interested in wasting time and money flying everywhere, so he traveled by bus. Their lifestyles are different than his, and so there were a lot of disagreements. I think he was just done. They were supposed to have done their last tour, and then they came back. Then they did the stadium tour, and that was apparently supposed to be the last, so when they came back again, he said, you can do it. I'm not going to go out with you for this. So, wow, man. Pretty ugly out there. Pretty ugly. And there's quite a few people jumping on the Mick Mars bandwagon, A lot of people starting to speak up. Jeez. Of course, of course, it's got to be KK Downing. Of course, one of them. Jeez. It's just like my situation. No, it isn't. No, it's not. No, it's not at all. He sympathizes with him and says, it's. Let me see. Oh, I get to use my British accent, man. Hang out. In my case, we were gearing up in 2010 to do the final world tour, the Epitaph tour, which was meant to be the end of the band. Downing explained. And because I was having pressure put on me to write for an EP to support that tour, which I absolutely was not going to be part of, I certainly didn't want to finish my career with an EP. So I threw the towel in and sent the retirement letter in. That's not anything like the same situation there, pal. There was a whole set of circumstances for me not doing the final tour. And one of the main considerations was we were getting to be concerned about Rob Halford, and we thought that he was gearing up, ready to leave the band again. Because in 2010, when all this was going on, the planning was the farewell tour, finishing the band. And, what a mess. But no, it's not the same thing, KK. Sorry, brother. Sorry, English brother. A lot of bitterness amongst these. I know KK's been bitter forever. Everybody's known that since he quit the band. He regretted that forever. And boy, here we go with, jeez. Wow. I don't know what to think, man. Wow, what's the next with these cats? I think they're planning on touring forever, but I gotta wonder what, like I say, what Johnny Five says about this. Man, gotta be rough.
Yeah, I wonder how that rest that's getting divvied up. Like I said, Mick's been cut from a quarter to 5%. So is that other 20 going to John Five, or I'd be interested in seeing that. But yeah, it's getting ugly, man. I mean, for him to come out and say Nicky didn't play a single note on the tour. I mean, what and you gotta wonder.
What an insult!
It can't be just them. There's got to be other bands doing this as well. There's got.
Oh yeah. There's a few out there. Yeah, and Mick Mars, of course, says that Motley Crue members all still hate each other. So, it's like another journey thing.
Like especially Motley Crue, they kind of epitomized that band that came together. They were like a gang. They were like a gang, man. They were like,
yeah.
And now they're at each other's throats. It's like,
Yeah, I don't get it, but I guess when you're together for decades, and it just gets tiring. And and Mick Mars says,
greed, and it's it's all everything, egos, and it's everything else. It's just,
and Mick Mars says on the
40 years of that crap, yeah.
He says about the stadium tour, he says it was the worst 36 gigs he's done in his life. So, wow, with the band, So, boy,
Well, you got to think the other bands on that tour had to know what was going on too. Then you would think. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy cool. But no, KK, your situation is not the same. So Motley Crue can join in with Journey, although Journey's been rather quiet lately. I'm pretty impressed, man. They on what is it, Access TV? I think they're playing a concert from 1981, Journey 1981. Pretty darn good, man. You know, Stephen Perry kicking it. That was
That was at their peak.
very
Yeah, absolutely.
quality, you know. And here's an odd thing about, you know, Jolie Elliott. Jolie Elliott. Is that the one we're going to cancel? We're going to talk about him?
Yeah, there wasn't much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Neil Schon did make some statements on it though. Mars filed the lawsuit, and Nikki responded on Twitter saying, "Sad day for us, and we don't deserve this considering how many years we've been propping him up."
Whoa.
Which, we still wish him the best and hope he finds lawyers and managers who aren't damaging him. We love you, Mick. And then Schon responded to that, given his health issues and he has obvious swagger he gives to the band through his guitar playing. He didn't deserve this. So he's kind of sticking up for his guitar buddy there a little bit.
Yeah, what a mess. You know, when he
just wants to get involved. He wants to, like I said, nothing's going on with his band. That soap opera's dying.
What can I do, honey? What can I do, honey?
There's a soap opera brewing over here. Let me pop up front.
Why don't you comment on it, honey? Okay. Jeez. Oh yeah. So boy, what a mess. What a total freaking mess. I'll tell you what else.
I'm sure there'll be lots more to come on that. Lots more. We'll be commenting on that in future shows, I'm sure. Yeah.
Tell you what, who's a mess. Our buddy. There he is right there.
Oh, yeah.
Kid Rock. Drinking a Coors Light now. Coors Light, Kid Rock Coors Light. And you're maybe wondering, what's with the Coors Light? Well, Bud Light, geez. I'm not going to get into the politics. You know, we're going to walk right by this one, Doc. We're just going to keep walking.
Walk this tightrope, man.
Just like, I saw the South Park episode the other day where they were talking about the fetal tissue, spinal the cells. What do you call that? Fetal cells, whatever. And they just kept walking, stem cells. They just kept walking right by it. They didn't touch it. And I think we're going to spin that way. The thing is, Kid Rock blew up some cases of Bud Light because he was mad about a particular influencer that Bud Light is promoting. And we'll just leave it at that. Should we walk on? Let's just cruise right on by that, baby. We don't want to touch it. Ace Frehley. Yeah.
Well, there's been but there's been a few country guys have kind of joined him on that too. So
yeah, John Rich, Travis Tritt.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You know, I wish corporations would stay out of politics. Because that's basically what it is. I wish they just stay.
It's just always, corporations have always tried to jump on some kind of bandwagon and sell things. It's just another example of that, but just highly more political and on a very divisive topic. So it seems like a bad move on their part either way. But
yep. Well, I drink margaritas. I don't drink beer. So I'm all good with that. So moving on, though. Goodbye. Ace Frehley. Yeah. Oh, this is great. I love this story. Well, if you remember, I don't know, last show or so, we were talking about how Ace Frehley was all ticked off because Paul Stanley trashed him about rejoining the band or something at the music awards, correct?
Well, yeah, for the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah, when they went in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame folks wanted to play the four original guys.
Sure.
And Paul made the comment that it wouldn't sound good. It'd be an insult to the current.
It would sound like piss.
We'd sound like piss instead of kiss. Yeah. So Ace is taking offense to that, and he was on Eddie Trunk a couple weeks ago and says if he doesn't get an apology, he's going to come out with some dirt. He's got a 120-page manuscript in a safety deposit box, and his lawyer's been instructed to bring it out and all this. It was like espionage or something. It was like a spy movie or something. So we reported on it last week, and we were I think about like day 3 or day 4 at that time. So the day 7 came and went, and Ace, true to his word, got on Eddie Trunk and responded to what was going on with that. And I listened to it. It's good listening. And so he comes out right away talking about how he got a 5-second call from Paul. It shows up on his phone, Paul S. And he's going on and on about how his carrier Verizon can confirm this, and he's going on and on about it. And he got a 5-second call where he just answers the phone, and Paul just says "fuck you," pardon my Latin, and hangs up.
Says "fuck you, Ace. I'm not gonna apologize."
Yeah. So Ace just kind of let it go. Eddie kind of asked him, I think I called him back, and he said he started to text him back and say, I didn't catch what you said, man. You want to repeat that? But he said he kind of let it go. And so they were talking about if he was going to come out with the dirt, what the dirt was on it. And
right.
He said after he's discussed it with his AA friends and people like that, and everybody's kind of advised him against going to that level. So he's not gonna go there for now.
Ace Frehley just no real dirt on Paul Stanley or Kiss today on the Eddie Trunk Show. Yeah. Again, Jiminy Creepers,
Well, he was mostly going on about how he got hold of Doc McGee. Well, I got talked to at the next Doc convention, by the way. Anyway,
Doc McGee. All right.
Talking to Doc McGee.
Hey, Doc.
And he's kind of Doc's being the go-between. Between Ace and Paul, and he said, "Hey, he just called me and said, F you," and so he called back and he says, "Oh, Paul said he did do it." He's, "Oh, bullshit! I got his phone. It's the same phone number I've been calling him on for 40 years or whatever. I don't know, whatever long." And so they were going back and forth on, and he's, Ace was pretty adamant on Eddie Trunk that that he definitely called him and said that, and of course Paul denies it. And who knows, man? Ace is so far out there.
He gave away the bank at some point, because if he's worth like the least of all of them, and I mean by a lot. So he must say he's just bitter.
Yeah.
He gave away the bank. Jiminy Creepers. So man,
that's why he's still out there. It's not like I don't think this is a case of enjoying it so much as necessity. Yeah,
putting out a new album or something. It's like nobody cares. Ace, Jiminy Creepers, but.
I'm sure people,
he bit the hand that fed him. But I'm sure that was there. I'm sure they were a mess back then. So, and Frehley, he said he would have been happy if Paul had just called me on a one-on-one like a man and apologized. That would have sufficed. But after cursing me out on the phone, the gloves are off. Well, apparently the gloves weren't really off. So, whatever, Ace, back off.
Yeah, he's kind of,
keep playing the lotto.
Taking the high road, I suppose.
If I was him, I'd play the lotto. Yeah. Play the lotto, Ace. You never know. Good things might happen. That'd be funny. Would that be hilarious if Ace Frehley was to win like $2 billion lotto and suddenly he's worth twice as much as Gene? I really, I'd pay money to see that. That would be so great. Boy. Wow. Oh, man. He could start.
He's been sober for a long time now. I bet he would totally fall off the wagon, man.
Man.
He would be run over by the wagon, man. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in any case, moving on. We got Charlie Benante.
Oh, yeah.
And he ain't happy with all the hate he's getting for his Pantera gigs. And therein lies the problem with the digital age, man. Everybody has a voice now. There's not just a phone and a TV. Now they can get on and immediately have a voice, and it gets amplified. And a lot of people are hating on him. But I'm tired of I wish they would have just said a tribute to Pantera, a tribute to Foreigner, a tribute to Leonard Skinner. That would shut everybody up right now, because they're still bitching. They're still bitching about that.
If they use that language, that would bring them to the level of just these normal cover bands, and they're obviously maybe half a notch up from that.
Yeah, but still, gosh, they get so much heat from it, and he's getting a ton of heat for drumming for the Pantera.
And metalheads are the most judgmental, and punks too. They're the most, they're the most judgmental people as far as their music. If it's not the purest or whatever, then
And Charlie says, I don't go looking for things online. These people who send me negative comments, and I'm like, why did you send me this? Why ruin my day? And I think these people who make these comments, I don't think they realize how much of an effect they can have on people. Correct. That's why it's so dangerous and sucks so bad. Whether or not you hate the situation, why can't you find some sort of restraint? I've never seen more of it in my life than I've seen in these past couple of months of people judging. So it's bugging him. He's going to have to just stop looking at it. You're doing a good job. Just look at the crowd. Look out at the people. They're rocking their asses off. And just leave the rest of it alone, Charlie. Don't even bother with it.
In this day and age, there's always going to be haters. There's always those, keyboard tough guys, whatever. But,
sure.
Yeah.
God, yeah. So, yeah, he just needs to, well, he's justified when he looks out in the crowd. I mean, that, you just got to let all the rest of it wash away when you're looking at that full house, that full stadium, and they're banging and there's mosh pits everywhere. I mean, yeah, okay. Let the haters be. A lot of it too
is that he's taking over for Vinnie Paul, who was kind of vocally pretty much against any kind of reunion. So it's kind of blasphemy. I guess.
Yeah, put a little fire. There. Yeah, that put a little shit in the fire there too. Yeah. But gosh, that one they should have done a tribute to Pantera. I think they would shut everybody up because they sure are digging the music from all the concert footage I'm seeing. The crowd is not complaining. So wow, Charlie, just look at the crowd, Charlie. Look at the crowd. Look into the light. Look into the light. Oh man, and also Lars Ulrich. Jeez, Lars Ulrich. Where is he? Hey, Lars. There you be. Oh, let me see. No. Oh, see, I'm backwards here, so I can't get this right. Right there, and right there. Metallica. Yeah, Metallica's drummer. He admits that he reads social media comments about his band's music. So it's not. You can really screw some people up with
it's hard not to. Lars says here if you decide to go into that comment section, at least for me, you have to prepare yourself for not taking any of it overly personal, overly personally. Mm-hmm. Lars said, if you have to kind of remove yourself from it, but I'd like to challenge anybody in a band to say that they don't look at comments. And I bet there's guys out there that don't look. I bet there's guys out there that
I'm sure there is. And then may I continue?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not sitting up until 4:00 in the morning scrolling through everyone, he added, but when you haven't put out any music out in 5 or 6 years and you dump something like Looks Eternal on an unsuspecting world, you're going to want to see what the feedback is. And, well, yeah, obviously. If they put out the new album, they're going to want to see what's going on out there. But, yeah, just like Charlie, just like say to Charlie, man, just take it with a grain of salt. There's idiots out there everywhere. And they're just looking to do stuff to piss people off. It sucks. God, I hate social media so much.
Because
it gives a voice to the ignorant, and sometimes they're the loudest voice in the room.
And narcissists, basically. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. Social media definitely brings out the narcissist in people. It's just really a bummer, man. But it's good to know too at the same time. And Metallica, Metallica is a busy band. Let me tell you. Well, where is he right there? Oh, there's Kurt Hammett. He partners with Gibson to recreate his 1979 Gibson Flying V. I guess what was I don't know. So stamp, I didn't really.
Well, he still plays it, and he used it on pretty much pretty predominantly on the first 5 albums, so up to the Black album. So it's pretty historical guitar.
Okay, in that respect, because the year 79 was not I know for Fender it was not necessarily a good year. Jeez, boy, yeah. When Fender got bought out by AMF, it was horrible. Fender was horrible for a while.
This is Gibson.
But I'm talking about but I'm just saying what the hell? I'll be darned. I'm just saying, a year, '79 wasn't a classic year for any guitars, really, but just because he'd played them on the 5 albums or whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's going to cost an
It
arm
was
and a
the first
leg.
Gibson he owned. It was, so now it was kind of.
It's going to cost an arm and a leg, and I don't know. I got a flying V, and it just the weight thing is just not right. It's just
Yeah,
not
they were
cool.
kind of the cool thing there for a while.
Oh yeah, I think I got mine in '77. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And yeah, whatever. Too light, way too light. But yeah, but nonetheless, God bless him, man. He's already got some massively cool guitars. He's got Greenie, and now he's got that Black Les Paul 58. So he's just gonna keep going with the thing. And this is a really cool story. I'm very pumped on this. This surprises me. Well, it doesn't really surprise me. They're going to branch out. They're going to see what they can do. Metallica. Boy, before we get to the main item, they're going to be doing 4 nights on Jimmy Kimmel Live, 4 nights in a row.
Yeah, starting
quite
tonight,
a unique situation.
Yeah, folks, see us on Monday, April 10th.
I'll be darned, man. Wow, that's pretty cool. I guess they're promoting.
I've never watched Jimmy. I don't know much of a late night guy.
I used to love the Man Show, but that could never play today.
Yeah,
that could never play today. Women jumping on trampolines. Yeah, that'll fly real good today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're doing 4 nights in a row, which I guess is a pretty unique way to merchandise their new album. Although I'm sure they're not going to have much of a problem selling it, being Metallica.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is helping Kimmel more than it's helping them, but whatever.
Yeah. But okay, and that's all cool and stuff, and that's all nice. But this next one really sort of surprised the hell out of me. They're buying a record. What do you call it? Record plant?
Pressing plant. Yeah.
Record pressing plant. Yeah. What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, they bought this place in Virginia. It was called the Furnace Record Pressing Plant, and they've been doing the Metallica albums for the last 15 years or so, and they just wanted to have this big push on this album, I guess, and wanted to make sure that they got could meet the volume that they wanted to put out. So they bought it. They bought the whole thing. And at first kind of sounds kind of selfish, like, forget about all their other customers and we're taking over. But they're kind of just ramping up production all the way around and putting out more indie albums and for other artists and stuff. So
it's not super old either. Records have been around forever, but they only opened up in 1996. So they've been around a while, but they're making very
like
high quality.
Time to start a vinyl.
Exactly. Who'd have thunk it? Because when the digital age was coming into fruition, and but they make obviously high quality vinyl. So far out, man, that's really cool. Wow. Vinyl's making a comeback, and boy, they sure are. Taking a lead. Good for them. They got the money. Hell. Why not? Yeah,
they're gonna put out like little, special releases and stuff, and rare, kind of vinyl releases and stuff. So, yeah, good on them. Yeah. You can only promote so much alcohol. At some point, you got to branch out. I imagine they've got some kind of ale or beer or something made. Oh, they've got whiskey. Yeah,
there it is. See, okay, I didn't know that, whiskey, but I figured they had. Okay, sure. Yeah. Everybody's got to have one of them. So, geez. Well, that's very cool. Very cool on Metallica. And here's a story that bums me out. We talked about this, how Johnny Rotten, aka John Lyndon, who's been caretaking for his wife of 50 years.
44 years. Yeah.
Oh, while they've been together, they married 44, but basically 5 decades together. And it says you're married nearly enough. And he passed away from Alzheimer's. And kudos to him. He caretaked her right up to the end. 5 decades together. And every picture you see with them together, they look as happy as shit. They just look as happy as hell. Every damn picture you see, it's crazy. I can't find a bad picture of them two together.
Well, in that world and that lifestyle to be together that long,
Oh.
they definitely had something. So, yeah, he's been kind of laying low and doing whatever he has to do. I mean, he definitely got his priorities together. And
oh yeah, look at that picture there. I mean,
yeah.
Name's
so, Nora Forster. People may not know too. She's the mother of old punk Ari Up. Was a band called the Slits. They were an all-girl punk group back in the day, same time frame as the Clash and those bands. So so she was definitely kind of in the scene and part of the scene, and yeah, they've been together a long time, and she's been suffering a long time. So
she's with her full-time carer forever, and boy,
yeah, she was diagnosed 5 years ago. So yeah,
wow, what a shame. So, good feelings, good thoughts towards him. R.I.P. to his lovely wife, and damn, life sucks, man. It's a bitch. Hopefully, we'll see. He'll, get up on the horse again and then do something cool.
Yeah, he's got stuff on with Public Image Limited, which has really been. I mean, he's obviously known as the Sex Pistols, but PIL, they've been together far longer. So.
Well, I just hope he gets out there now. Now he's got the time. Do it in her honor. Get the hell out there and kick some ass. So good deals. Good for you, Johnny Rotten, man. You did the right thing, obviously. And the passing of you know more about him than I do. Seymour Stein.
Yeah, Seymour Stein.
Go for it.
He's executive. He was co-founder of Sire Records, which is a big punk new wave label back in the day. Excuse me. He was vice president of Warner Records at one time, so he definitely had some clout in the industry. But yeah, he signed a lot of the CBGB bands. He signed the Ramones. He signed the Talking Heads. He's kind of those cutting edge art. He signed Madonna. They also signed Depeche Mode, the Smiths, the Cure. One of my favorite bands, the Replacements, Echo and the Bunnymen. So a lot of those new wave, a lot of those new wave.
Wow, man!
Punk bands back in the day. He was the guy that kind of
discovered
a lot of them and signed them. So definitely, one of those figures in rock history that people don't know a whole lot about. But music
hell of an influence.
Potentially very different had he not been around. So
wow, hell of an influence.
Rest in peace, Seymour Stein.
Absolutely, man. Jeez. Yep, getting to be that time. Now, here's an odd story with my favorite lead singer who now looks like either an aunt or a grandma. That would be Steven Tyler. But wow, geez, this is the craziest story. The headline reading, of course, he denies sexually assaulting a minor, claims it was consensual. Well, if it's a minor, it can't be consensual. So you want to expound on that? You got any more on that?
Oh, sure. Geez. Let me get back to Aspire. Basically, back in 1973, and this now she's bringing it up, which I always kind of, I don't know why wait.
Why wait so long?
Yeah.
He's 75 years old, for crying out loud. 73.
So at the time, and this I've heard this happened with Ted Nugent, I believe too. This is kind of a thing that happened a few times where parents would sign like custody over of their daughters to these rock stars, which it just boggles my mind, man. I mean, I know the 70s were a wild and wacky time, man, but that just blows my mind.
Time out, hang on. They signed their daughters over to rock stars. Yeah. Boy, that's a smart move.
So so there would be no legal issues crossing state lines because they were minors.
Oh, gee. Oh.
So Tyler wrote, her claims are barred in whole or in part by the plaintiff's consent, which that's right away. If he's a minor, if she's a minor, there is no consent. Because of immunity or qualified immunity to defendant as caregiver and or guardian.
Oh,
so he's saying basically, if I'm the guardian, I can have sex with her. So the lawyers come back, says, I'm not sure how we made this. Never have we encountered a legal defense as obnoxious and potentially dangerous as the one that Tyler and his lawyers launched this week. Their claim that legal guardianship is consent and permission for sexual abuse. Oh my God! So,
Oh, well, Tyler even claimed the plaintiff, Julie Misley, formerly known as Julia Holcomb, has not suffered any injury or damage as a result of any action by defendant.
you don't know that.
Holy cow! What? Oh, jeez, creepers! That's just creepy as hell, man.
That's a pretty callous thing to say, man. Yeah. But is that so fucking? That's like the most creepiest thing, man. It's like,
yeah.
Well, you signed her over to me. That means I can have sex with her.
God. Like, oh, I don't even know how old she was.
Yeah, they don't release the age, but I'm minor. I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, 15, minor is a minor.
Take a year, yeah.
I don't believe this. What's wrong with these people?
You said I could have her. Well, you know that's consent.
Oh.
God. Where are these parents? Well, they're probably gone by now, but.
Oh, here we go. Rush's Geddy Lee's memoir is coming out November 2023. That should be pretty interesting. I again on AFX or whatever the hell's on my TV, the music thing. They did a Rush autobiography about Rush, and yeah, it could be pretty good because I was amazed at how poor they were for how long before they really started making money. I mean, really, I saw them a couple times at the Aragon Brawl Room in Chicago back in the 70s, and they were broke as hell then, and they were magnificent. So they didn't start really making money till, probably 80s. Yeah. But so that ought to be a pretty good read. I got
something
imagine.
He started working on during the shutdown, during the pandemic.
There you go.
So it's they started putting it's a 512-page memoir. He's kind of worked on it with a guy named Daniel Richler, who I guess he's worked with on some other stuff. But he kind of put down his thoughts, sent them to this guy, and he'd polish them up, and they're going to put out this memoir. So they're called My Effing Life, Geddy Lee Memoir.
Yeah, and he says. Although my wife Nancy and I had to cancel a bunch of adventures we'd been planning, there were some shining silver linings to be found at home, teaching my grandson the finer points of baseball and bird watching, tending to my pups, and drinking. Basically, he says a glass of Armagnac in hand as we watch our European mystery, blah blah blah. So he had plenty of time, and he began to write words. So it gave him the time to that's a pretty storied career, I'm sure. I mean, they were really unique. So good for him, man. Seems like all these we're seeing a lot of these people, a lot of these guys are starting to put their careers down in words,
right.
Before while they can, basically at this point. So that's a good thing, and I got no complaints about that. Yeah.
I need to work on my memoir one day. We'll put it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, mine would be it'd be horrible. I don't even want to say it. It'd be really wild. But anyway, there you go on that. And like we were just talking. Here he is. Hey everybody, it's Bob Dylan. The headline being delayed Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothy Chalamet to begin filming this summer. So they're going to put his life down on film. So everybody's getting their ducks in order now. I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's something kind of came up right at the beginning of the pandemic. It got put on hold. Now they're restarting it again. So starting filming this summer. It's as of yet untitled. But I hope this is a new trend in movies. I haven't really gone to movies in so long, and it just kind of seemed to be taken over with the superhero movies and those kind of things.
CGI.
I hope this is a new trend. We had the Bohemian Rhapsody a while back, and then the Elton John one, and the Elvis one was big last year. So I hope this is a new trend of biopics of of our favorite rock stars and people like that. So I hope.
Well, Dylan, absolute boy. What a storied career, starting back in the radical 60s.
Yeah.
And still to this day,
he helped make him radical. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
Being the most influential songwriter of all time. I mean.
Yeah, no. Now my friend Tom Petty's passed away. Before he could do his biopic, I figure I better get mine done pretty soon because the answer's blowing in the wind. That's what Bob Dylan would say. So, yeah.
Yeah, he and Jeff Lynne would be the only Wilburys still around. Yeah,
Wow.
No more Tom
Yeah.
Petty, Roy
No
Orbison,
more Roy
or,
Orbison, yeah.
George Harrison. Yeah.
Jiminy Creeper. Yeah. So they, get your stories down, old folks, old rockers, so we can enjoy them, because, geez, they're going big. They're going fast. Yeah. What a crazy week, man. What a crazy, the Motley Crue stories were just coming like one every half hour. There was a new, a new revelation. It was amazing. So I'm anxious to see how that goes on. I given Mick Mars only 5% after all he's done, I don't know, man. I'll see what he's worth. Hang on here a minute.
Well, I'd like to see the nuts and bolts of that. Just if it's 5% of the road take, and he's not going on the road, it might seem okay. I don't know where he's at on the publishing. Maybe he doesn't get any publishing. I don't know. I'd like to see all the different different levels of income there.
He's worth $75 million, so it's not like he's hurting.
No,
but he wants his fair share, though. He put his heart and soul into this doggone band for 41 years, and it just sort of seems apparently like they're just sort of kicking him to the corner. Oh yeah, we're not going to tour anymore. I fell for that. I was at their first The End tour where they had the roller coaster drums kit, and boy, that was a long time ago, and they haven't stopped since, and they're not going to stop. So I can see his point.
Well, they did. They were kind of holding. Then that movie came out, and I said that movie kind of re-sparked interest or whatever, and got him back out there. But whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, it's time for me to go eat. So freaking A, Doc. I had a little margarita down the wrong tube there. But yeah, it should be interesting. I'm sure. Hopefully, we'll hear from Journey again. A week without Journey is a horrible week. So, come on, Journey, kick up your game, man. Get it together. And Motley, we're sure to hear a lot more about how this is going to turn out because I'm sure. Boy, I can't see Mick shutting up at this point. He's got to be pissed because it seemed like he was quite honestly betrayed. So wow, and now they're trashing him in this. The monitor engineers trashing him. The guy who sits at the side of the stage with the monitors. So yeah, that'll keep going on, and of course more rock news coming your way because we can never fit it all into one program. So freaking A, man, beautiful day. Gonna get my purple '67 Dodge Coronet convertible out tomorrow with the white interior and cruise around the lake. But freaking A, man, it's a great one. Concert season's coming up quick, so very excited there. And thanks a lot for joining me, Doc. Sure appreciate it, man. So we'll be seeing you next time. So why don't you take us home, brother?
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. It's always greatly appreciated. And again, if you haven't done so, please subscribe. And we'll keep working real hard, bring you the rock and roll news. You can count on us every week. So until next week, when we do it all again, have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody. See you next time.